Okay, this lesson covers methods. A method is collection of a statement. Normally we group them together to perform certain operation. The objective is that to define reusable code, and then we can modularize codes to organize and simplify coding. Let's look at the example. When we say add numbers 1 to 10 or 1 to 5, we may say that int sum equal to 0, then start from number 1 until less than equal to 5, increase by 1, so that I can use for loop. So every iteration we add up a number belongs to I, sum equal to plus equal to I. Then we can print it out result, which is sum. Again, straightforward. The question is, what if we need to do the same thing with a different range? Let's say 1 to 10. What about 1 to 100? So if you look at carefully, there's a range from 1 to 5, and then 1 to 10, 1 to 100. That's the only difference between coding. So if you look at the for loop, everything is pretty much the same. The beginning is the same, ending is different, like a 5, 10, or 100. This is one of the reasons we prefer to organize our code so that we can reuse. Let me visualize our method called sum. So this box is the methods. Then we need 2 inputs. We code it as formal parameters. And then when we add 2 inputs, we are expecting 1 output, which is a return value. So let me type it. Formal parameters. Basically 2 inputs, like a number 1 or number 2. Okay, that is called method body, that rectangle. We are referring to our fragmental coding called for loop. And then here, this is what we call as a return value. In the case we are expecting a return value, sometimes we don't have a return value. We call it as a void. So in this case, we are expecting sum. So this is the partial code, maybe part of the method body. Then go inside the box. Okay, this time I will go through the syntax of some methods and then some of the keywords we use when we define method and invoke methods. So let me quickly type the coding. It is with the public static because it will be used with this in public static main methods. So it has to be declared as a static. And it has two parameters, formal parameters. Then we have a local variable called sum with the initial value 0. And then for loop, we start with num1 until num2. So in this case, it can be number 1 for num1, number 5 for num2, increase by 1, I++. And then what we want to do is sum plus equal to I. And we have a return type, which is an integer, sum. I think that's all. So let me look at the keywords or terms we use. The first two of them is public static. Those are modifiers. For now, all methods we declare as public. Because we have only one class, so we declare our method as a static as well. Next one is what we call as a return value type. So with this in method header, we need to clearly say we are expecting integer return type. And then underneath return statement, we need to use return value, which is here sum. It has the same data type called int. And then we have a method name called sum. And then we have two formal parameters with data type. So two formal parameters, you need to declare data type and then name your parameter. In this case, I will say num1 and num2. So we can say two of them together. It says that parameter list now we have a method signature, begin with the method name and the formal parameters. Together we say method signature. And then we also have a method header. Start with name of modifier, return value type, method name, and then formal parameters together. We call it as a method header. So you can say the first line of the method is method header. Then we have method body. That's all for declaring A methods. Let's say once we declare a method, we should be able to invoke or call that particular method. In this case, we have a return type, so we may like to save it once we get the return value. So int sum. Again, we like to use the same data type, referring to return value type. And the method name, and of course we need to use two parameter that matches with formal parameters. Normally we call it as actual parameters, or I will say arguments. So here 1 and 5. Actually, there are two of them, so let me separate. So we have 1 and 5. There are two actual parameters, or we often call it as an argument. Okay, those are all things related to methods. There are many keywords, but eventually you will get used with it. Okay, let's look at the actual coding. I will use as it is Java application. Application with a single class file called Java application 26. Again, the comments, I will say methods. So at the beginning, we have a method called main, and then it has no return type. That's why we have a keyword called void, and declare as public and static. So let's say sum from 1 to 5. Of course, we can do it manually without using a methods. If the problem is only 1, it's okay. It seems okay. So answer is 15. When you look at the 2 additional problems, you may need to repeat same coding, or we can consider reuse the codings. So that is the main idea of using methods. So let's declare one method called sum. Again, we are expecting integer return type, so we say int. Name of the method, I will say sum. And then I need 2 parameters, which is 2 formal parameters, 1 and 5. Second problem was 1 to 10, 1 to 100, no matter what, 2 formal parameters. What I really want to do is, based on the for loop, and of course I need sum as a local variable. And then return type is, of course, is sum. Making sure that's the same data type, int. Let me remove. So when we receive sum 1 to 5, I say 1 to 5. The first problem. And I will just put it next to each other. Next one, maybe I will copy paste. Change to 1 to 10. Then 1 to 100. Then when we receive the 2 formal parameters, actual parameter should be passed to your coding. So let me go back. Instead of number 1, I say number 1 and number 2. Based on formal parameter, you will pass the value 1 to num1, number 10 to num2, number 1 to num1, and number 100 to num2. Here is the result. Okay, so that's the main idea. We don't actually code again for the method. So line number 27 to 28 and 29 is exactly the same. It depends on parameter. We can do we can reuse the coding. Let's look at another solutions using different methods. This time we are going to look at the methods with a return value. It means we will send the parameter for parameter 1 and 5. We print it within the methods. We are not expecting anything back. from the methods. So I will name it as sum2. Again, public static. This time we are not expecting any return, so I will say void sum2. Everything else will be exactly the same. num1 and num2 include actual coding. But this time we are not expecting return type. So once we calculate, then we will print. So this method say invoke sum2 methods without any return value, but it still has two formal parameters called num1 and num2. Previously we are expecting return value. So let me just add some comments. As you can see, answer is exactly the same. So it depends. Sometimes you can do solutions with the method is without expecting any return value. Basically saying you are going to delegate to your program. Then that's it. And sometimes, of course, you need to get it back or some sort of data validation possibly. You can delegate it. So make sure you follow the same idea of reuse the code whenever it's possible using methods. That's all.